All right, everyone, let's talk about UFOs. Well, actually, we're going to talk about USOs. Apparently, this is the new flavor of the day here. Link in the description, archived, of course. Thousands and thousands of unidentified objects are near U.S. territorial waters. Interesting how the United States is always, by the way, the nexus of all UFO and USO activity. USOs are not a thing any more than UFOs are. I can tell you exactly what you're seeing. In some cases, you're seeing fucking whales. In some cases, you're seeing cartel submarines. They've even converted like school buses and train cars and shit like that into submarines. In some cases, you're seeing enemy craft. They might be from North Korea, they might be from China. It's not entirely 100% sure all of the time. I would like to think that any significantly advanced naval capacity would allow you to utilize stealth so that you could travel at high speeds and not really be detected. But the fact that you're detecting these particular objects is rather telling now, isn't it? Well, I mean, they appear on sonar. They appear on our scanners. Sir, there's something below the water. Oh, what is it? It could be a school of fish, quite literally in some of these cases. USOs are no more real than UFOs if you're talking in the extraterrestrial sense. If you're talking in the terrestrial sense, that is, that humans have created some sort of craft or something like that, believable, plausible, in fact, objectively true. But little green men are not visiting this planet. And I don't know why they would want to sit around in the ocean for no reason. It makes absolutely no sense. Apparently, they really, really like fish. Maybe the aliens are Japanese and they really, really like sushi or something like that. This is nonsense. It's fun to talk about, it's fun to think about, but it's not actually happening. Aliens are not visiting our planet. It's surrounded by a death shroud. They're never going to want to come to our planet. Just as human beings would be insane to go to some alien planet. They would have to wear, like, they'd have to have something beyond a hazmat suit just to be able to walk around. Probably wouldn't even have a proper atmosphere for humans to be able to breathe in. Aliens from other planets are not visiting the United States for no reason, floating around the Statue of Liberty or something like that. What you're seeing are enemy submarines and U.S. craft, by the way, because the groups that are doing the detecting, they can't necessarily tell. Let's say that a U.S. submarine, for example, is on, a classified mission, and it happens to be, moving around underneath the water, and somebody manages to detect it. Well, the United States government is not going to tell you that the submarine was there. Not without good reason, by the way. It's there for a reason, but the reason is something that you do not need to know because there's a possibility that you're an enemy spy or something like that. So the USO UFO thing has rankled me now for some time. The legacy media keeps going back to these fucking stories and saying, well, the Pentagon just released previously classified footage in 240 actually most of the time, or maybe 360, 480p if you're really, really lucky, has released classified footage of an object. It's an object that happens to be flying through the sky or swimming around in the water. This does not indicate an extraterrestrial origin whatsoever. It has no bearing on that whatsoever. It could be a drone. In this age, when people can buy commercial drones for a few $100, UFO sightings are even less relevant because literally I could go out today, buy a standard drone, put a little scaffold of balsam wood and tinfoil over it with some LED lights. Make it look like a flying saucer, right? Fly it through the sky for a few hours. And all of a sudden, the police are, investigating me because they got so many calls. This is possible to do with today's technology. This is not 1940 or something like that. Yeah, oh my God, that Zeppelin up there. Holy shit. Something from another world made it. UFO sightings in the United States specifically started even before people started flying in general, back in the hot air balloon era. Very, very interesting history, by the way. There were a rash of sightings, especially in rural America, back in the middle of the 1800s. I believe that there was a movie actually based on this, to tell the truth. It was something Cowboys versus Aliens or some shit like that. Sounds like a good movie. I'll probably have to watch it. But little green men are not taking their ships and flying into the oceans like Cthulhu or something like that. That is not what is happening. What you're seeing are misidentifications, enemy craft, misidentified domestic craft, and things of that nature, as well as other random anomalies. Sometimes they might actually have worth. For instance, that obelisk that's sitting in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean that some people have talked about. Yeah, it's definitely an anomaly. It's not alien in origin. It probably got pushed out to sea and was built by the Roman Empire or fell off a trireme during transport or something like that. These things do happen, actually. Out of place archaeology is definitely a fascinating subject. But yeah, the USO thing is sort of, I think that the UFO thing the public stopped giving a shit about it. So now they're trying to introduce something new as a distraction more than anything else. Well, no, 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 no. They're not flying out around in the air. No, no, no. They're actually in the ocean. It's the same sort of distraction that we've seen for quite some time, honestly. This has been going on for several years. They're doing this because they don't want you to think about other actually meaningful news that they don't really want to talk about in many cases. It's just a cover up. It's a distraction. That's about all. Peace out.